of the National Football League.
It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we've got the latest chapter of a historic rivalry. It's the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants, and it comes your way next on Madden Football.
It can hold over 82,000 fans, and every one of those seats is filled for this one, as our coverage of the NFL brings us to MetLife Stadium. Welcome, everybody, to the booth. I'm Kate Scott, joined by Brock Hewitt for this game. And Brock, as a former quarterback, I know your focus is on the offensive side of the ball ahead of this kickoff.
Yeah, these two offenses are so fun to watch because the best offenses in this league, Kate, they're about trust. And it just pops out. When you study them during the week on the game film, you just see it. They trust one another. That's head coach, that's coordinator, that's play caller, that's to the quarterback, and then certainly the 11 on the field. Both these groups are getting it done.
Here's Graham Gano out for the opening kick. And away we go from East Rutherford. Here's Cavante Turpin on the return. And in the end, Brock, an exciting touchback as the return comes out to the 30. So here come the Cowboys for their opening drive. Bringing them out is a Mississippi State fourth-round pick in 2016 who's found considerable success in this league, Dak Prescott.
I don't think I'm alone in this, Kate. To me, Dak is one of the easiest players to root for their success in the NFL. I think for me and for many others, it's based on all he's overcome, from tough playoff losses to significant injuries. But his leadership, his stats, his ability to play like an MVP in big moments, at his best, he really is all you could ever ask for.
Out of the shotgun, they'll give it to him inside. And he gets him around 6 there. Tackled on that play by Isaiah Simmons. A nice 6-yard pickup. They're going to have 2nd and 4.
That's a run that you'll take the result in the NFL every time. A nice play, a solid game, but it's also a run that you know, and you may come back to, because if you were that close to breaking off an explosive one, you really break the backs of the defense.
This one caught by C.D. Lamb. A 19-yard pickup, and that's going to move the chains.
You know what I like about that, Kate? I like that they're not coming out slow. They're willing to go with some looks here that will yield big yardage down the field instead of just settling for dinking and dunking the ball.
Ball on the 45, 1st and 10. First down, here's Dak. Has him on the quick hitter. And he works this to the 38 before going down.
That is the epitome of staying on schedule. That kind of completion right there on first down, well, it opens up the entirety of the playbook for 2nd down. 3rd and short in your back pocket, you can get even more aggressive and take that shot.
2nd and 3 now. Dak now from the gun. Brought in by Jake Ferguson. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
I'm sure coach and play caller doesn't mind making the job a little bit easier. You know, play calling's a lot simpler and easier when you count on the offense to move the chains on those early downs.
1st and 10 now from the 30. Out of the gun, they'll give it to him inside. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
Well, he was supposed to be the one who chipped away a few and got a new set of downs started right in rhythm. Instead, he's now forced to pick himself from behind the line thanks to a great effort defensively.
Offense to the line for 2nd down. Back-to-back carries here. He gets it forward for a gain of 3. Tyler Nubin with the tackle.
I think one thing you learn, Kate, when you transition from college to the NFL, not every run is going to be a big play. Some of them, well, they're just destined to end in a minimal gain, and some of them will set up that critical play action for later.
5 men in the secondary for the G-men now ahead of 3rd down. That's caught for the first. And in for the Dallas touchdown. What an outstanding opening series, partner. They just wore down that defense as they marched their way to the end zone.
Yeah, it took a whole bunch of that opening script to find a touchdown, but it showed just how well designed that script was. It was the right sequence of plays to keep that ball moving and find the end zone while getting your offense established and into top gear right here early on.
Brandon Aubrey now on for the extra point. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Cowboys will jump out to a 7-0 lead. Aubrey now to kick this one away. Returning it from the 4. They'll begin from the 36 as the return is brought down. So the Giants have getting set for their first drive. And leading them out in his 6th season in the league now is their quarterback.
Don't think for a second, Kate, he hasn't heard the noise. Read the comments from the keyboard warriors who say they just want somebody else leading this team. But let me let you in on a little secret. Those criticisms, they can fuel quarterbacks. Make that chip on the shoulder even bigger to prove people wrong and to show I really do belong in this league.
Good starting field position for the Giants as they head up 1st and 10. Locke looking to throw. That's complete to Darius Slayton. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs.
I love throwing on 1st down. And when you see a 1st down pass just like that, it's taking advantage of a matchup you plan for, and you go out and execute.
Football on that 47-yard line, 1st down. To throw, here's Locke. Man there, it's Malik Neighbors. And he'll have it down to the 44-yard line.
You know, I often say there is a fine line between aggressiveness and carelessness. And when you throw into double coverage, well, it can go either way. That time, a tremendous catch by his receiver on the other end.
From the 44 here on 2nd down. He locates Daniel Bellinger. And he's going to get it out past the 40 before he goes out. That one ends up a gain of 6. And the Giants will have a 1st down.
That's just great instincts. Go air it out on 2nd down rather than just play conservative and run it. They hit a weak point in the coverage and don't need to worry about 3rd down at all.
They'll throw it again. Gets this to Slayton. And they limit the damage just a few yards on that gain. Brought down by Deron Bland.
Every once in a while, it's fine to be conservative on 1st down, especially when you get enough to stay on schedule and get a little something coming out of it, too.
2nd down now, 7 to go. They run. Here's Tracy. It looks like we can call it about 4 yards in the end. Eric Kendricks there for the tackle.
I don't mind that call on the early downs. Give that defense something to think about. You got the inside run between the tackles, and whether it's jet sweeps or a little swing pass, or in that case a toss, make sure you threaten to the outside.
All plays on the table here for 3rd and 3. Lock to throw it. Complete beyond the marker. And he's able to take this one down to the 25. 6 yards on the play and enough for a 1st.
You're not going to last long in the National Football League if you don't convert a good chunk of your 3rd downs. Nice find there to continue the series.
Quite the opening drive they put together, partner. New set of downs all the way down to the 25. They just get the play off. And that is how our 1st quarter will end as that pass falls incomplete. 1 quarter down for these two NFC East teams. 7-0 is our score. We'll get back to East Rutherford after this. Welcome back. We'll begin this second quarter with the Giants in possession. They'll have second down as they look to continue this good drive. Hits him on the out route. And he's going to go out of bounds just short of that red zone.
There's no negatives ever on a grade sheet for a completion, but that's one of those situations. If you're going to take a risk and throw an out route, you'd sure like to see a little bit more yardage gained.
And the Cowboys bringing on an extra DB here. Third down coming. Here's Locke. Cut at the 10-yard line. And he's going to be tackled, but still all the way down to the 6. That one goes for 15, and now they're going to have first and goal.
You know, they call the money down for a reason, because you're just simply not going to last long in the NFL if you don't convert a good portion of your third downs. It's the money down. And nice to see them roll the dice and continue the series.
Going jumbo set on this first and goal. Working inside the red zone. Into the hands of Dulcich. And that's a New York touchdown. So a touchdown on the board for Brock as they start this game off a perfect 1-for-1 offensively.
Yeah, I'm going to call that scripting for success right there. Can't do it much better than that. And listen, when you script these first plays, you don't always know who the targets are going to be. It's really then relying upon what the defense is trying to take away. They couldn't take away that big old tight end.
Graham Gano to tack on the extra point. The point after splits the uprights. And the Giants start off well to tie things 7-7. Ready to send this away. Fielded at the 7. And look at this return. Some good work on that return. Brock gets this up to the 33. The Cowboys and quarterback Dak Prescott ready to get back to work. And after the impressive drive we just witnessed, you gotta imagine that they are hoping to respond with something similar.
Yeah, and I don't love to use the word can't, right? But this can't be a 3-and-out for this offense right here. They got to give their defense a chance to catch their breath and turn some of the momentum in the building.
Ball at the 33 for first down. Here's the handoff. And he's going to manage a lone yard on that drive up the gut. That was Kayvon Thibodeau there to wrap him up. Manages just a yard on first down. Now it's going to be 2nd and 9.
Hey, we know running the ball in the NFL is hard, and that play pretty indicative of it. Here's the key, though. At the end of the game, those type of plays got to be in the minority, and the majority have got to do some damage.
Back to the well again. And once again, he doesn't manage much before getting brought down. A gain of about 3, so a third of what they needed. 3rd and 6 coming up.
You make that call to just give yourself a fighting chance on 3rd down, Kate. Take at least a little bite of the big meal between them and the first down marker. And that should make this upcoming call a little less daunting.
Prescott now on 3rd down. Gets it to him on the screen. He winds up out of bounds, but things not settled yet, so we've got a flag down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Well, you know this better than most, Brock. Screens normally leave some rushers to come free, but still, it's not often you get roughing the passer on one.
No, it isn't, but I think of Tom Brady. To me, not only the greatest QB sneaker in the game, but he was one of the great screen masters, too. He understood how to sell a screen, draw those defenders to him, and like the QB did right there, sometimes they'll even tee off and you get the penalty.
Just a gain of 1, and that brings up 2nd and 9.
Okay, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet, but if you see a bigger play on the ground later on, it'll largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
First throw for the backup now. He completes it in traffic. And he's brought down after a short gain.
Well, the odds aren't great when you throw into double coverage. Normally you see one of the defenders make a play on the ball. 2 men nearby, and that's a missed opportunity for the coverage to make an impact play.
And the Giants going nickel, 3rd down coming. Here's Rush to throw. And they can't connect on the 3rd down deep shot. Love the courage they had to try it, but it's incomplete, and now we've got 4th down.
I think if you look up in phase in the defensive encyclopedia, that is a picture-perfect form of it. He was all over him in coverage, really forcing the incompletion.
And this kick is good. He needed to get all of it there, and he did. And that's going to break our tie and give him a 3-point advantage.
A lot of them may make it look automatic, but you get this deep, and those fumbles are far from a certainty. It took all his concentration, every bit of his strength, to send that puppy through.
Aubrey now to kick this one away. Here's a return from the 7. And he's going to make this to the 28 before going down. Now for the 2nd time this game, we get a look at the New York offense. They'll try to emphasize what worked on their last drive, which ended Brock in a touchdown. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. A handoff to Tracy. And he has a gain of 4 on the run, which runs us up to the 2-minute warning. Second and 6 coming up here. From the 32. Quick slant caught by Neighbors. And he'll go down, and we'll say right at the 39-yard line. That's good for 7 yards. And it's good enough for a New York 1st down.
Nice to see that connection, that chemistry working between the two of them.
The Giants moving quickly. They're in the hurry up here. Throwing his lock. And oh, someone stepped in. It's intercepted. That's Jordan Lewis. And he makes the Huffs go. It's a touchdown on the pick 6. But we all know getting the interception is the important thing, Brock. But how about this guy having the wherewithal to transition into a really nice return to then get the touchdown out of it, too?
Yeah, that's a great point. We talk about it with receivers, right? Getting vertical right away after making a catch. Same thing for these defenders when they make a pick. They secure the football, sure, but instantly they go back to their offensive days. They want that touchdown, and they want a moment they won't forget.
For the point after, here's Aubrey. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Cowboys make it a 10-point ball game. Well, Brock, hopefully some short memories on offense as they get it right back here on the kickoff after that pick six. This return starts at the 5. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. Now here comes the New York offense. They're trailing, but there's enough time, Brock, that they could get a scoring drive to attack that here before the break. They're out and set, 1st and 10. Getting right back to it after that interception. Finds his target, Robinson. We're working a couple of yards past the line. Malik Hooker with the tackle.
Well, he saw his guys pick up the blitz. Well, he felt them pick it up anyway if he wasn't looking at him. But with their effort on his behalf, I think this QB felt owed to them and the group up front to find somebody to get a completion, so that effort up front wasn't in vain.
He finds Slayton. And he has it up towards midfield before he's taken down at the 47. All right, all set up now. 1st and 10. Locked down. Connects with Slayton. And they're going to haul him down just shy of the 40. Timeout called, and that's going to be the 2nd for New York. And they still have one in their pocket for what's left of this half. First and 10 from the 41. They are throwing it again. Got it, man. Robinson has it. And he'll go out of bounds close to the 35-yard line.
Well, that's a pretty similar result to a first down run play. Moves it forward, keeps you on schedule, and makes 2nd and 3rd down a whole lot easier to manage.
2nd and 6 coming up here. From the 37. He's got Bellinger. And they can't bring him down until he gets into that red zone at the 19. They get 18 yards out of it and a new set of downs.
From a great throw to a nice route and catch to moving the chains, there wasn't a whole lot not to like about that amazing play.
All right, set now. 1st and 10. From the red zone now. That is incomplete. Down to 13 seconds left. No luck finding his receiver that time. And we'll see what they do here on 2nd down.
Well, you certainly want those throws to be automatic. Every team, if you're going to be efficient, you've got to hit those passes in the short to intermediate zone to effectively move the ball in this league.
Here's Lock to the air. And that is incomplete. 8 seconds left now.
That just goes to show you can't take any completion for granted, even on some of the shortest passes in the game plan.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got 3rd down. Putting a receiver in motion. Throw on 3rd down. Touchdown, New York! Great opportunity to find a touchdown there, Brock, and they come through with 6.
Receivers want the ball everywhere on the football field. But you start smelling the end zone, they really want their chance. And they will tell you as a quarterback, just give me an opportunity and I'll make a play. He sure did.
Gano for the PAT. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Giants cut it to a field goal game. effort. Maybe a return plus a play here as they send this away. And that one bounces through the end zone for a touchback. Probably looking at our final snap of the half here on first down. Throwing it just before halftime. And he's just going to get rid of this one. Smart move there when you saw the field. It's going to be second down. So we've arrived at halftime with the Cowboys enjoying a lead on the road. Now down the coast we go to Orlando, Florida in our studio there. Jonathan Coachman waiting by with the EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Kate, sit tight. We'll get back to you and Brock in just a moment. But for now, this is our halftime report. This one's been as good as advertised. Just a field goal separating these two teams. This is a very level first half, and I'd expect to see more of the same after the break.
As always, a hat tip to Coach for his hard work during the break, as we're happy to welcome y'all back for the start of our third quarter. Aubrey now to kick this one away. Return starts at the 3. And the return sets them up just beyond their own 20. The Giants offense with the football. They'll get it first in this second half. That passing game they went to in the first half, it's going to need to be firing to start this second half too as they chase this lead. Offense ready to begin this drive. First and 10. On the handoff, this is Tracy. And he drives into a pile of defenders and is stopped right at the line. Call it no gain on that run, and they face second and 10.
Where one defender failed, well, his buddy was there to swarm to the ball and make that play just as it gets to the line of scrimmage.
Second and 10, need to get some positive yardage here. They go right back to Tracy. And that's good for a gain of 5. That was Micah Parsons making that play. There's 5 on that play. They need 5 more now on third down.
When you don't have great success on first down, Kate, it's a little bit like a hitter in baseball falling behind in the count. And all you want to do as a hitter is get back to a fighting chance. Give yourself a better count. That play, well, it does the same here. Now a much more manageable and opportune third down situation.
Toward the sideline, and he's got it. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. That chunk worth a nice 21 yards. And the Giants will have a first down.
Well, you don't normally get that type of outcome on a slant. You're just looking for a little short yard gain. To find the right type of athlete with space to work before and a perfectly placed ball after the catch, well, it's a perfect play to break it big.
Staying between the tackles with Tracy. And he's swallowed up in the middle. No gain on the run. Malik Hooker with the tackle. No gain there that time, and it's second and 10.
So close to a big loss of yards for those guys up front. 1 second sooner, and they got him tackled behind the line. But a stop to celebrate nonetheless.
Second and 10 now. Catch made, Tyrone Tracy. And he'll take it past the midfield stripe and start the push into Cowboys territory.
Rhythm. You hear me talk about rhythm a lot. Whether it's a golf swing, a baseball swing, heck, even a bowler gets himself into rhythm. And I'm just telling you, Kate, from experience, these little throws to running backs, it's one of the best things to get your offense into rhythm and a nice little gain on top of it.
A give to Tracy up the middle. And he's dropped just short of the marker, maybe a yard away.
He's brought down at the 42-yard line. A gain of 3. It's now 4th down and less than a yard.
The Giants readying to punt, and they're going to send out the lefty, Jamie Gillen, for the kick. So this one sails over the sideline, and they'll spot it where a touchback would go at the 20-yard line. Offense headed back out there now for Dallas. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. First down, here's Dak. That's Lamb running a slant. And he'll go down after pushing this up to the 29.
That's what you call efficiency. Exactly what you're looking for on 1st down. Textbook. It sets up 2nd and very manageable, and it creates that space if you want to take a shot downfield.
Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. Dak now from the gun. He's on the move. Oh, he was on the move, but so was the defense, and they take him down. And that pushes him back. 3rd down coming up.
Wow, it has been such a good day offensively for the guys up front. That's actually the first sack by this defense. And now comes the real question mark. Will it lead to more? Or will this offense learn a lesson and get back to the rhythm they've been in protecting?
They come to the line here. This is 3rd and 6. Prescott here from the gun. That's caught for the first. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. It's a gain of 21 yards to pick up that 1st down.
You know, Kate, years ago, my old high school receiver and I got together for a football camp. I could still close my eyes and throw him that slant. We've done it millions of times. You get a QB receiver connection like that, it's dynamite.
New set of downs for him from the 46. Here's Prescott, 1st and 10. Caught for big yards on the right side. And he's brought down after pushing to that 35-yard line. That play goes for 19 and a new set of downs.
Well, that is pretty darn impeccable timing between the two. They hit a curl route of that length. It takes great anticipation and precision by the quarterback, and the receiver on the other end finishing it, doing his job.
Throwing on first is Prescott. Oh, he got hit as he was throwing, and unsurprisingly, it falls incomplete. 2nd down coming up.
This is why we hear about closing speed so often when you evaluate players. You know, once he senses the pressure, he's getting rid of that ball. It takes a player who can close quickly to get to him before it's released and alter that throw.
Another throw for Prescott. Throws off the rip, but it's incomplete. Looking for his wide receiver there. And that's going to leave him with a tough 3rd and long.
That play right there, Kate, that just goes to show you, you can't take any completion for granted. Even some of the shortest passes in the game plan.
No connection on the last play, and now it's 3rd down. Dak throwing again. Escapes the pocket. Oh, he's going to run for it. A 19-yard pickup, and that's going to move the chains.
A gain of 19 yards. 1st down, Cowboys.
This is the end of the 3rd quarter. The Cowboys have it with a lead, but the win's not secure just yet. Still on the move, coming to the line for 1st and 10. Tossing right to the short side. And he's got it inside the 15 before going out. Give him 4 that time, so 6 to go on 2nd down.
Yeah, that defense was flying to the ball. You see that outside toss. This is a pursuit drill that they work on over and over again. Get to that toss before it can really get started.
Blown back in the backfield, and he gets the handoff. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain. That's going to be a gain of 6, and they need only inches now here on 3rd down.
You gain that kind of yardage in the run game, and you're going to gain the trust of your offensive coordinator. Plays like that, runs like that, set the table for everything else in the playbook.
Prescott now to throw on 3rd down. Flushed out of the pocket. And he wisely avoids contact, sliding down there, and that played good enough for a first. 2 yards on the pickup, and now they have a 1st and goal.
That is quarterback play 101. Maybe not the first chapter of it, but man, is that important. Getting downfield, get what you can with your legs, then most importantly, protect yourself. Get down and don't take any extra contact.
And he will score. It's a Dallas touchdown. The Cowboys make it a 9-point advantage. If you're going to complete that one successfully, Brock, you need the perfect throw, just the right touch, and you also need a guy who can go up and get it just like that.
Yeah, need to be able to muscle somebody off the ball if you're not alone. And call me a little biased. Go ahead. I don't care.
You're biased.
But the success of that play does come down to the timing of the throw, Kate. If you don't throw it on time to that exact spot, you run out of room, and you don't give yourself that kind of chance.
Well, we knew this was coming. All touchdowns are reviewed, especially late in a close game like this. Well, this right here is where having all those camera angles comes into play. We're going to get a much clearer picture thanks to all the shots we've got.
Yep, technology, everybody's friend right now. We get to watch it again and again, unlike these officials who got to see it once in real time. We just have to see, is there clear enough evidence to overturn the call that was made down there on the field?
After review of the play, ruling on the field stands.
So the celebration can resume on that sideline. The touchdown stands. For the point after, here's Aubrey. The point after splits the uprights. And the Cowboys make it a 10-point ball game.
Giants 14.
Aubrey now to kick this one away. This one's fielded at the 40-yard line. And a decent return ends as they bring him down inside the 30. The Giants and Drew Lock ready to go again on offense. And he has to be happy about his game. We're checking some of the highlights right now that he's made so far. A good showing that's seen him in the zone from time to time. And also he's just seen the field well from his spot in the middle of this offense. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. They go play action here. He's going to try to drop it in deep right. And the defender redirects that deep shot. Nicely done. Incomplete. Malik Neighbors, the one he was throwing for. And it sets up 2nd down.
You know, I don't fault that look at all, Kate, downfield. It was just an excellent defensive play to deny him the ball and knock it away. That is good on good.
Lock looking to throw. Couldn't connect right side. It's incomplete.
Can't cover it much better than that. Really well covered, Kate, on that play. There just simply was not a window for him to sneak that throw in.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. Lock to throw it. Cover man is there, and he harmlessly knocks it away. Incomplete.
And you ask a lot of your defenders on that field. It is not easy to play defense in today's NFL. Not only stay in their assignment's hip pocket, but to make plays on the ball as it arrives. He was challenged with an intermediate throw, and he swatted it away with ease.
Desperation time here on fourth. He puts some air under this one, deep right. And that one's going to be knocked away, and that's going to force a change in possession. So the defense rises to the challenge and gives the ball back to their offense.
Well, I think every analytics book out there, Kate, said you got to go for it. You're in four-down territory, down a couple scores here in the fourth. But now it's all about the defense. Can the defense come with a quick turnover or a stop to somehow, some way, spark a comeback?
And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. From the gun is Prescott. And he just hucks this one away. Wasn't going to risk a throw or force something. It brings up 2nd down. Now we're on the counter. And he's going nowhere there. Add that to what's been a tough afternoon for him. No gain on the play, and they still need 10 now on 3rd down.
Big man up front said, not in my house. Let me tell you, Kate, once you're in the grasp of one of those big old fellas on the D-line, you're done. They would say it on the East Coast like this: it's over. Over.
Prescott now on 3rd down. We've got a screen to the running back. And he's going to be out of bounds right along the 20.
I'm a big fan of the screen pass. Really, you can run a screen as they just showed on any play. 1st, 2nd, 3rd down, sometimes even 4th. But it takes great acumen, a great football IQ defensively to have an awareness it's coming, and then more importantly, to stop it.
Gay's kick is good. And that pushes the lead up to 13.
That kick, well, it throws a roadblock up on some of the remaining avenues to get back in this game and really leaves only one remaining. It's going to take 2 touchdowns if they want a shot at it. And we know those odds, they're getting pretty long.
Aubrey now to kick this one away. Starting from the 5. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. The Giants about to get to work on offense. And the last time we saw them, Brock, they took a risk, went for it on their own half of the field, but it didn't work out. They're out and set, 1st and 10. Throwing is Locke. Neighbors with the catch. And he'll get it out to the 34 before he's tracked down.
That is a textbook 1st down completion. Sets up 2nd and very manageable and creates space to take that shot downfield.
Offense in the hurry up here. Here's 2nd and 2. Finds his target, Robinson. And he's out of bounds just past, looks like the 40-yard line. Give him 8 yards on the play. And it's good enough for a New York 1st down.
And those are the completions they rely on from their passing game.
This will be the last play before our 2-minute warning. To throw, here's Locke. Trying to push it deep downfield. And that's going to be knocked away, incomplete. No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. Locked down. This is complete to Neighbors. And he's tackled after getting this to the opposing 46. The Giants using their first timeout. And they still have 2 available for them as we approach the end of this game. Need to work as quick as you can here, Brock. 2 timeouts left, down 2 scores. It's first down. They are throwing it again. Well, the pressure nearly got to him, but still a good play defensively as that one falls incomplete.
Well, he needed another second to deliver the throw he wanted to. You got to give a lot of credit that time, Kate, to the pass rush for getting in and forcing him to dish it before he was ready.
Couldn't connect on first. It's second down. And they send a man in motion. They're going play action. A bit of desperation on this deep shot. Big shot is hauled in. Feet are inbounds. Oh, what a play! He does it. Touchdown, New York. The Giants now within 1 score in the 4th. All right, so the offense does its job, Brock. Now they need their defense to give them a chance to overcome that big deficit.
The momentum in the building's clearly changed. We can feel it here in the booth, but you're right. It's now up to the defense to make a stop and give them a chance.
Gano for the PAT. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Giants get it back to within 6. They'll line up for the onside kick here. Gotta find a way to get it back. Just a little over a minute and a half remaining. I think the Giants got that one back. Yes, Giants football. Well, Brock, you can't blame him with how tough it is to recover an onside kick anymore. But he did hit it before it went 10 yards, so they had to throw the flag. First and 10, ball set up at the 48. Blown back in the backfield, and they give it to him. And he drives that front backward on a gain of 4. Timeout taken by the defense, their second. And they'll have just one left to burn now. Second and 6 coming up here. They give it to him again. And he doesn't get much. A small pickup down to the 42. The Giants are going to call their final timeout here. That's all they had, so the offense free to start running the clock down now. Chance to move the chains here on 3rd and 4. Another carry for him. And he's going to be brought down at the 35-yard line. Call it 7 yards on the play, and that's enough for the first down.
That's a BYOB. You got to be your own blocker. It would have taken the entire defense piling on to stop him from getting that first down. Well done.
Victory formation here. Looks like they're going to take a knee on first down. With the win in hands, they'll take the knee, let this clock run out.
There's still some time to bleed off the clock, but the important factor is that the defense is helpless to stop it. You could just run that clock down as far as you're able and take off every single second.
A kneel down here, and they can start to celebrate this win. Your favorite formation, right, Brock? The victory formation here as he takes a knee.
Nothing left to do now, Kate, but celebrate on one side and watch on hopelessly from the other. What a hard-fought effort to get to this spot, and now you can enjoy the victory.
So the Cowboys come in and take this one on the road. This is the type of game everyone was hoping they'd see when they entered this stadium, Brock, you and I included. A close one that went all the way down to the final whistle.
And Kate, this is one of the bigger adjustments a college player has to make to the NFL. In college, you get a lot of blowouts. The NFL, every game you get calloused because you know more often than not they'll be like this, a one-possession game that's not about how you start. It's all about how you finish.
So that puts a bow on this one. For my partner, Brock Heward, and everyone involved on our crew, I'm Kate Scott signing off. This has been another presentation of the NFL on EA.